Hi, everyone. We'll get started in about a minute here, just letting everyone join. You'll notice you won't be able to really type into the webinar chat, but you can type into the Q&A. So feel free to type into the Q&A to ask all of your questions, ask any questions along the way. That is all in the webinar, in the Q&A. Once again, you might see the webinar chat, but you won't be able to type into it, but keep an eye on it. We might be adding in knowledge-based article links, tutorials, just different things to help with what we're saying, or like what we're going along with in the session. But we will not be answering any questions from the chat, only over in the Q&A. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're about a minute in. This is our Getting Started with MailerLite session for beginners or anyone just starting out with their account. To let everyone know, the session is being recorded and we do send out the recording to everyone who has registered. We should be here about an hour, no more than that, depending on how many questions we have. And once again, please write all of your questions over in the Q&A. Quick intro, my name is Harmony. I'm a customer education specialist here at MailerLite. I help with these webinars and also with our video team. And then I also have my colleague Alex with us here today, and we'll co-host the session. So I'll host the first half, and he'll host the second half of the session. Speaking about what we'll be talking about, so this is what we'll be going over today. We'll be talking about things like subscribers, importing and collecting. We'll also be going over authentication, so domain authentication. Then we'll go over into campaigns, so sending a one-off campaign versus automating using workflows. And then at the very end, we'll share some resources and go over any of those Q&A questions that maybe we missed along the way or didn't get to. Okay, so to go over some of the things with our plan levels, you can see this is the structure of MailerLite's plan levels. We have the free plan, which is up to 250 subscribers, the comfort and the power plan, which is both above 250. And the main difference is the power plan has unlimited features. So things like monthly email sends, user seats, so the amount of people who have access to the account, templates, automations, websites and landing pages, forms, digital products, for example, and the ability to remove the MailerLite logo, automation triggers, so the multiple automation triggers. So the power plan just includes everything unlimited amount, whereas the comfort plan is if you have above 250 subscribers, you just have a few limits on some of the things like landing pages, automations, templates, etc. And then free plan, you have some limitations and it is only up to 250 subscribers. For those getting started, this is the plan that you might be starting off with. Okay, let's get into the overview. So we will talk about deliverability and authentication, subscribers, where contacts are managed, campaigns, email creation and sending, and automations, setting up email sequences. So talking about building your email list before we get into subscribers and all of that, we want to talk about deliverability. And specifically, do you have a custom domain and is it authenticated? So what do we mean by a custom domain? So we recommend not sending from free domains that look like this with @gmail.com, @Yahoo. These are the free providers, but you want an email that is connected to your own domain. That is going to help with deliverability. That isn't just a MailerLite requirement or anything like that. That is going to help you reach the inbox better. So we talk about deliverability. So having your custom domain and authenticating that as well. We'll go into authentication next. Also, the importance of consent, so permission-based opt-in. So when you add any subscribers to MailerLite, when you add subscribers from importing, or when you add them from other areas, other apps, for example, they have to have opted in to your email list. They have to have opted in to receive emails from you. So this is not buying a purchase list. This is not getting emails off social media or anything like that. This is just subscribers who maybe purchase something from you. So then they um, knew that they were being added to an email list and then they were added. Or it could be subscribers that signed up through a form, for example, but they were not just added to the account without consent. Okay. So these are the two requirements. The main two requirements is we recommend having a custom domain, and then they have to have opted in to the account, to the email list. So let's go ahead and look at our demo. So we have importing subscribers, domain authentication, as well as the difference between groups and segments. So let me go over to my account here. And we will start off with talking about authentication. So you should be able to see my screen. If I go down to account settings, so this is already if I have a custom domain. MailerLite does not provide custom domains. You cannot purchase any custom domains within MailerLite. So this is if you already have your custom domain ready to go and you're just authenticating it. Domains can either be here, or domains is either here or here. And you can see it's broken up in between two segments. So there's sending domains and sites. We're going to be focused on sending domains for this one. These are the domains that you will be using to send campaigns. Site domains are for landing pages and websites. So we want to add a domain like this, add domain, and you enter in the email address that is connected to the domain that you own. And once you add the email address, it will start our automatic authentication process. So what this is it basically analyzes your domain, detects the DNS provider, and then it sets you up so you can authenticate the domain from there. So it's quite simple. There's no need to add any records or anything like that. There is a manual setup if you want to do that, but otherwise the authentication is very easy with the automatic process. So you see there's different statuses here. When they are fully authenticated, it says this, it looks like this, and it says authenticated. When the authentication hasn't gone through, it says authentication failed, and you have an option to resolve. And then since we didn't fully go through with this one, it says it needs authentication, so it has the option to authenticate. So there are different statuses, but this is how it looks when these are fully authenticated. And that means that you could then use these domains for sending in MailerLite. For example, when we go over to campaigns and we see the area where we add the sender, let's look at the details of a campaign here. So we have the campaign name, the subject, and then the sender. So this is where we use that domain that we authenticated. We use the email connected to it and the domain. And that is how you add your domain to MailerLite. Okay, let's look at subscribers. So in here in subscribers, when you look at the first page, this is where you manage all of the contacts that you have in MailerLite. Automatically, by default, it shows the active subscribers on your list, and these are all subscribers that you have, regardless of where they came from, when they join your list, how they join your list, anything like that. This is all subscribers if they are active. You can choose to show the other statuses like unsubscribed, bounced, spam complaints, unconfirmed, that has to do with forms. But by default, it will just show the active subscribers who are not in these categories. They're not unsubscribed, they're not bounced, for example. So this is one main list. You can see there's no organization other than just having them separated in columns here, but there is no smaller list or anything like that. For that, you do need to look at either segments or groups. This is how to create smaller lists of subscribers out of the main list that you have. And there's many different ways to do that, but segments and groups are similar, but a little bit different. Let's look at groups first. I'll go up here to create group. Okay, and I have just created a group here. Now, if I go back to the all subscribers area, I could add subscribers into that group pretty easily. I could just click to choose here, actions, add to group, and then choose the group that I just created. That is just one way to add subscribers to groups using the action step here. And then if I go here to groups, it should be outdated. Yes. So the example group now has 3 subscribers in it. View group. I can also remove the subscribers if I want to. So you can see here we have the 3. If I want to add or remove them, I just click to choose, go actions, remove from group, choose the group that we just created to remove them from, and remove, and that will update itself. So we'll give that a minute and that will update itself. So that is the main thing to know about groups, is that you can manually add and remove subscribers from them. Whereas segments are a little bit different. Segments are created by a rule or a condition. Let's go to create segment. And here we actually have templates to get you started. So this is really great if you don't have any experience creating segments or you want to see the different types that you can create. You can just see the details and it will show what filters it will apply to create the segment. And that is a great way to create segments from things like active openers, not active lately, location based. There we go. So in this case, though, we will start from scratch. And this way you can see the types of filters that you can choose from. So right away it asks us to choose the condition, choose the filter. And there's lots of different filters I can choose from. Email actions, last emails, last emailed, stats, sign up date, sign up source, location, the groups that they're in, information in custom fields, lots of different options. In this case, I will just go with email actions, opened in the last, let's go with 6 months. And you can see that this number updated automatically. So based on the filter or condition that you set, the system brings up a list of subscribers that meets those conditions, right? So if they have opened an email in the last 6 months, it will bring up their email address, their profile here. This is also dynamic, right? So that means if they no longer meet the conditions, if time passes and the subscribers don't open any more emails and it's beyond it's within the 6 months, then they will actually be removed from the segment as well. So they're basically added to it if they meet the conditions and removed from it if they don't. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Both different ways to create lists of subscribers, just different ways that they are created. And we will talk more about groups and how to add groups, how to create more groups. So the next thing I want to do is add subscribers. So let's go over here. And then I will go here to just upload a CSV file, but there are different ways to import subscribers. So you can drag and drop a CSV or a TXT file. You can copy and paste directly from Excel. You can add a single subscriber. So if you just have an email and a name, you can add that and you can add them to a group this way here as well. You can import directly from MailChimp. We have an easy way to connect your account and import this way. And you can import using API for any developers. Our documentation is right there. I will use the CSV option. Let me bring over one that I have in just one moment. Okay, so I will upload a list of subscribers that I have, click import, and you can see here I can add them to a group again. I can add them to a group that I just created, or I can simply type in to create a new group with this import. So I do not want to add them to a group right now. And to match fields, this is pretty simple because my subscriber, my file only had a list of subscriber emails. So it didn't have information like their names or companies or phone numbers or anything like that. It just had emails. But you can see here that I can just choose. You're basically matching what columns in your file match to a field in MailerLite. So is it the email? Is it the name? Is it last name, company, city, country, etc.? In this case, it is the emails, so that was already picked up, and we can go finish import. And this part will show you which subscribers were added, so which ones are brand new and were added, which subscribers were updated, so they were already in your account, but there is some new information from matching those fields, so they were updated, and then the subscribers not added. They could be not added because they were already in the account, and in fact, I think this list will most likely have they most likely will not be added because they're already on this list. So we do not add any duplicates, but they might be not added for other reasons, and either way, it will show exactly why they are not added. So we can see here the progress of the subscribers being added. That might take a little while. Let me refresh the screen. There we go. Okay, that is done. So we can see the subscribers were not added only because they were already on the list and we skipped the duplicates. So that is fine. If they were updated, they would be here. If they were new subscribers, they would show here. So that is basically how to authenticate your domain and the way that subscribers are managed. So you can see the main subscriber list with the active subscribers showing and the segments versus groups, which are the different ways to make smaller lists of subscribers. Okay, let me go ahead and go back to our presentation here. We will go into the second part of this demo, which is creating and sending newsletter campaigns. So in this part of the demo, Alex will show choosing a template versus starting from scratch, adding content, so things like text, images, buttons to your email, personalization, so using merge fields, using variables like adding your subscriber's name, for example, into the email, then how to preview and test the campaign before sending, and then how to send right away versus scheduling it for the future. You will also show workflows or automations. When we talk about workflows and automations, they are the same thing. So automations or workflows, which are sequences of different steps. So we have the trigger, which is how the automation starts, any delays, so any pauses, and then any actions. So things like sending an email. Why it matters? It saves time and it keeps subscribers engaged. So you're not waiting for certain things to happen yourself. You just have triggers that go off and then they automatically send those emails. And we also will talk about the different workflow triggers and how to work with rules and actions. And I think that's it. I can go ahead and pass it off to you, Alex.
Yep, let me go ahead and share my screen here.
I will stop
Just
sharing
one
mine.
moment. Okay. Be able to see my MailerLite dashboard. And yeah, let's go ahead and go into creating a campaign. So there are a couple of ways that you can get to the campaign builder. The first one is going to be from the dashboard. So once you log in, there's a big old green create button right over here. You can hit that and then go to create campaign. We also have the campaigns tab right over here. And then if you click that, you'll be brought over to essentially like a high level campaigns dashboard. So you can see all of the drafts that you have made. You can go back and view sent emails, and then you can see again how many numbers you have over here, as well as if you have any emails scheduled. So if you have an email that you've scheduled to go out later, that's going to show up over here in your outbox. For now, let's go ahead and hop over to creating a campaign. So we want to go through the drag and drop builder so you can kind of get a feel for what it's like to create a campaign or create an email using MailerLite. So we hit create campaign and then you're brought over to this campaign type screen. We're going to go through regular campaign right now, but just know that you have that one that's essentially sending a regular email. We've also got A/B split campaign, and that's where you have two variations of the same type of email. So say maybe you want to test out and see which subject line works better with your audience or which like image works better in the content. That's going to let you test out two variations. You can change one variable and just see which one does better. RSS campaign is great if you have like a consistently updating website or blog and you want to send that content out to your audience automatically. And then we've got an auto resend campaign. That's going to give your subscribers a second chance to open your newsletter. So say that you are sending a newsletter to everyone and then not everyone opens. Like maybe they get distracted, it gets lost in their inbox. This one will auto resend after a certain time period that you can define to give those subscribers a second chance to open that newsletter. And then multivariate campaign, that's going to be similar to an A/B split campaign. And the difference being that you can test, I think, up to like three variations in that email. So you can test the subject line or pieces of content and other variables as well. Just more than A/B split, but it functions in a similar fashion to test and see what's going to work better with your audience because you want to have the highest engagement and make sure that you're sending the most, the most valuable content for your audience. And that's how you can find out. So with all that said, let's go to build a regular campaign. We're going to click into that. And then you're immediately brought over to email design, template gallery. So you can see our demo account, we've got a few templates that we've made. But when you browse our template gallery, you can see that we've got plenty of different templates available. Over 142 different templates, all templates. You can all, if you have your brand styles set, then we've got a few templates that will automatically pull in your brand style as well. So it'll be your brand style in that template's format. So all you have to do is change the content within. You don't have to mess with the colors or the fonts or anything. Those are already going to be set for you. And then start from scratch. So start from scratch is going to show you our builders, and that's what we're going to go through today. So you can kind of see, again, just from a blank canvas, what does it look like to create an email? So we hit choose, and now you've got three editors. We're only going to go through the drag and drop editor today because that is kind of like the most common one that is used. We've also got the simple editor. That's something, it's just a really simple way to create emails. Essentially, it's kind of text-based, but you also are able to add images, links, buttons, things like that. But it's like very streamlined and very simple. Um, and then we've got our custom HTML editor. So if you want to code and custom build your email using HTML, then you can do that. We've also got an HTML agent inside that will help you to write your newsletter as well. We have guides on how to use all of these, both in our knowledge base as well as on our YouTube channel. So if you want to learn more about all of these things, then take a look at that. For now, we're going to go into drag and drop editor. And then once that loads, we can get into creating, just showing you what the design looks like. So the drag and drop builder is built with blocks, essentially. That includes blocks for images, blocks for text. We've got buttons. If you want to change any images in the builder, all you do is hover over any image in the builder, and then you can hover over to this replace image button, and then you can replace that image. That'll take you over to the file manager. And that's where you have all of your, all of your images, and then you can insert whichever one you would like. So for now, let's just go ahead and go to this one. So here you can see that the image was placed in. If you want to change the size, on the bottom right corner, there's a tiny triangle. That's not going to show up for your subscribers, but it lets you drag and resize how that image is going to look. Um, Below that, if you want to edit any sort of text anywhere on the builder, you simply click into it and then you can begin typing. So, and then same thing for body text. So body text as well, if you'd like to, you can begin to just like select it and type whatever you'd like to. If you're in the free trial, we do have this AI assistant as well. So that can help you to come up with some sort of a paragraph to get away from like the blank page, and you can kind of have a starting point to customize your text. And you can select which style, tone you want and what type of content you're creating. So let's say you want to um, create a short paragraph about interior design. Let's see, about an intro to interior design. Then you hit send. It's going to send that prompt over, and then you're going to get a suggestion that you can insert into your content. So we're going to insert that. But now let's say, what if you want to add a personalization? So what if you want in the email to show your subscriber's name? In order to do that, again, with the cursor placed wherever you'd like that to appear, let's go ahead and say like hey, and then we want to have their name appear over there. In this toolbar, this formatting toolbar, this should look familiar, by the way, if you've used any sort of text input program before, like text edit or notepad, things like that. You're going to hit this variable button or the hashtag, and then you can select their name. These are going to be all of your variables. So these are things that you can collect from subscribers on your forms, or if you're uploading a list, this will be like one of the rows that has information about that subscriber. So again, you can get more information about how to use custom variables and things like that in our guides. But for now, we're just going to select name and know that once that appears, that their name is going to appear right over here in that email. Same thing for buttons. If you want to change the text on a button, you click into it, and then you can say view now or whatever you'd like it to say. To customize where the button goes, when you see you're hovering over the button, there's another toolbar that pops up. We're going to click on this link one right over here, and then you can insert a link. MailerLite also allows you to directly deliver files to your subscribers. So you can insert files, you can insert variables. We're going to insert a link because we're just going to say, like, when they click that button, they're going to be taken to a link. So insert the link that you want them to go to. You can have it open in a new tab if you'd like. And then there you go. In order to customize and add more, let's say you want to add another section in your website, you can hover over the left. So the left sidebar is where all of the blocks are going to be. So maybe below that, you want to add a small divider below the button. And then below that, maybe you want to add something else like a quote or something like that. So you go down there, you can drag in your quote. Um, that, so you can add that below. You can add more images. So if you want to add more images, you can hop down, you can add an image, you can add two images. So let's go ahead and say you want to add an image below that. You'll get a placeholder image, and then again, you can replace that, and then you'll be taken into your file manager where you can customize and add a new image. So there you go. We've got two images, a little divider, quote, and some body text. Um, that is essentially how you can begin to design your email. Now, let's say you want to see what this is going to look like on mobile. So what you could do is go to preview and test, preview mode, and that's going to show you a preview of what the email is going to look like. And you can see already that we've got desktop and mobile view. So if they open on their desktop, this is kind of what they're going to see. And then on mobile as well, you can show what they're going to see in mobile. If you want to as well, you can send yourself a test email. Um, send a test email over there. And so when you click onto that, you can enter where you want the email to go and send a test. So you can see what it looks like in the inbox. Keep in mind when you do send test emails, those are not going to show things like your variables or your personalizations. So it's going to show a blank space instead of the name. So I want to keep that in mind. Once you're done going through all the blocks that you want to add, designing your email, customizing it how you want it to be. Again, to get more details and really take a deep dive into that, today's high level, but to get a deep dive, check out our guides and both on text and our and in our video library. Go ahead and hit done editing, and that'll take you over to the next step. This is where you can enter your campaign details. So campaign name is just for you. That's internal use. This is to help you organize and know what emails you've sent and what it's about. So let's say this is going to be our showroom demo welcome email. That's for you to know. When it comes to subject lines, when I click into it, you can see that we automatically get some suggestions here. So design your dream room, unlock your home's potential, your perfect space awaits. So these are some suggestions that you can have for your subject line. You can, of course, type in whatever subject line you'd like to type in. But for now, we're just going to select one right over here. And then again, if you want to, you can insert another personalization in the subject line. So if you want to put their name in, unlock your home's potential, subscriber. And then below that, make sure the sender information is correct so they know who it's coming from and they know what to expect from that. The pre-header is going to show up in the inbox right below the subject line, and that's going to help to show them what the email contains. And once again, you're going to be getting some suggestions here for what that can be for you. Then we can go ahead and insert that, and then you're going to select recipients. So you don't have to send every email to every subscriber every single time. You can select who these are going to be going to. So you can send it to all active subscribers. You could send it to a specific segment if you'd like to. So if we uncheck this, you can send it to like the demo group. You can send it to a specific segment or group. You can exclude specific segments and groups. So say you want to send to everyone, but I don't want my engaged subscribers to get it. So you're going to exclude just that segment, and then, that's going to be how you can send that out. For now, we're just going to go with all active subscribers, hit select, and then we're going to go to continue. All right, so once again, now we're on sender schedule. You can see a whole like preview of what this is going to look like. You can see your subject line, sender name, pre-header, who's going to be receiving it. You can send a test from the screen, and you can also go back and edit the content if you would like. Next, when it comes to scheduling, obviously you can send the email now, which is going to just send it directly after you hit send now. You can send it later. So this is going to be scheduling the email. If you are wanting to send this out in the future, I usually recommend scheduling out your emails if you can, just so that you can have some time to work on other parts of your marketing strategy. But you pick a date, just click into this calendar, pick when you want to send it, pick what time you want to send it, and then time zone as well. And it'll show you the current time in that time zone. You can send it based on time zones. So schedule your campaign for a specific time in all time zones. So say you want to send it out on, this date, and they want everyone to get it at like 9 a.m. their time. And so you can set that out. When you send it for your recipients, it'll send it out so that they get it at 9 a.m. in their time zone. This needs to be set up 24 hours minimum in advance in order to actually make sure everyone's getting it at the same time. And then Smart Sending is going to deliver your campaign to subscribers when they're most likely to engage. You can learn a bit more about how that works and how it does it right at this link when you are at that send or schedule page. For now, we're not going to send this out. This is our demo account, so we're just going to hit the X, but that's a really high-level view of how to go through and create an email using the drag and drop editor. Next, I want to go into automation. So this is kind of like, we called this one our welcome email for design. But if you have a form on your website and people are signing up with that form, you don't want to have to manually create and send a welcome email to every single person who signs up. So say, one week you get people signing up, you send a welcome letter. Next week, same thing. You're just going to be creating welcome letters until the end of time. That's where automations come in. Automations let you create one email or a set of emails, and then, indefinitely into the future, that's going to send out to every single person who signs up using that trigger, that, however you set it up every single time. So if 1,000 people sign up, 1,000 people are going to get that email, and you only had to make that email one time. So we clicked over to the automations tab on the left sidebar, and now we're going to hit new automation. Before I do that, by the way, on this page, you can see your current workflows. They're either going to be showing active or inactive. So here you have active, inactive. If you want to activate a automation, you simply hit activate. And then if you want to pause an automation, you'd simply hit pause on ones that are already active. You can also view drafts that are currently in progress that haven't been completed yet. For now, again, we're going to go through new automation. And with automations, we've got templates too. If you're just starting out, I generally recommend starting out with a template. So we're going to go through creating a very simple welcome sequence, but we do have templates for that too. So you've got a simple welcome email, advanced. You can go by category. So if you want to do a nurturing automation sequence, if you want to do a promotional one, retargeting, we have different categories and you can select which ones you would like to get set up. As usual, we are going to start from scratch so you can see what it looks like from the very beginning. So we're going to start from scratch here, give your automation a name, and then start building. So the first thing that happens when you open up the automation builder is that you need to add a trigger. A trigger is the action or the thing that is going to get this automation to begin running. So if you don't have a trigger, nothing starts it. Think of trigger as like the start button. What we're going to do is, for now, is joins a group. This one says that if someone joins a group, then this automation will start. We picked that one because when you create a form or when you upload subscribers or when you have a landing page, you need to select a group that people who sign up from that form or that landing page are going to get added to. Once they hit that submit button, they give you their email, their name, they hit submit. What group are they going to be added to? So let's say they get added to the demo group. Now, anyone who joins that group, the demo group, is going to start this automation. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. All right, so now people are joining this group. What's the next step? We're going to hit this plus button down here. So once they join, they're going to get an email. So first thing, they hit submit, and then they get an email. Now, let's go ahead and hit design email. It's going to take us over to the drag and drop builder. This is the exact same process that we just went to. So we're not actually going to go through and design the email right now. We're just going to breeze through it. Again, if you want to know how to design emails, check out our guides on how to use that drag and drop editor or the simple editor or the HTML editor. You can use whichever one you want. All right, let's pretend this is all designed. We're going to hit done editing. Fun fact, if you have a button like this one here on your email and you didn't put a link on it, it's going to ask you to fix that. So make sure that if that shows up for you, fix it. But for now, we're going to continue anyway. Alrighty, so it's giving us this little icon here because we have to add missing URLs to our buttons. Just to get through that, I'm going to add that URL to the button. So we have a lot of safeguards to make sure that when you create an automation or when you're working with something that it actually works and you're not going to be creating something that's a little bit broken. So you don't have to wonder, hey, what's not working with my automation? It'll tell you what's not working and ask you to please kindly go fix it before it lets you continue. So there we go. We hit done editing. It's going to take us back and then that little button should be gone now. But you still have this little red icon because none of this content is filled out. So the email needs a name. Again, it's going to be an internal name for you. Let's call it welcome email 1. And then the subject line as well. We want to have a subject line here. So Welcome to our email list. You can insert a personalization right here. Make sure they know who it's from. You can also have a pre-header, so and then hit save. All right, so this step, check mark, that means it's good. The next step, email, got a check mark, that's also good. So you could stop here. This is the simplest automation that you could have, being that they sign up, they get added to a group, and then they get an email. This will work for one person, it'll work for 1,000 people, on and indefinitely. But we can make it a little bit more complex than that. Say you want to send out two emails. So what would you do? Would you add another email? Because if you do that, once they join the group, they'll get two emails instead of one right away at the same time. There's going to be no gap between that. So, in order to prevent that, we're going to add a delay step. Delay is just what it says. It's a delay step. So that means we're going to have, say, 2 days between the first email and the second email. So we're going to hit save here. So now you can see that they get the email, and then the system is going to wait for 2 days, and then it's going to send another email. All right. So you can drag in this email and go through all that step. I'm going to not do all of that. I'm just going to duplicate this one, and we're going to put it over here and delete the one that we made. So that way, I just pretend that this is our second email now. We're going to hit save. So now you've got one email, a delay, and then another email. So now you've got a two-step email welcome sequence. You can add, I think, up to 200, 250 steps in your automation. That's like they get very complex. You can have like emails get sent out based on specific actions. You can have people sorted into different groups, into different segments, all with automations. Um, we've got a high level guide on how to use automations in our, in our library for our knowledge base as well as in our video guide. So if you want to learn more about how to use the automation builder, definitely check that out. And then if you are on the video or on our YouTube channel and you are on the automation video and there's an automation that you want to see how to build, leave a comment and then it might get built into a tutorial where we can show you how to do a specific thing using automations because you can do, almost anything with automations and it'll make your life a lot easier. Once you're done designing everything, you would go ahead and hit activate. You can test your automation as well. So if you want to send yourself a test automation, you can do that. You can also, this is a secret tip, when you're in the step where you're adding subscribers, you can add your own email as a subscriber. So you can add your name, add your email, and then you will be a subscriber on your own list. And then you can, once the automation is active, so if we hit activate over here, you can add subscribers to your automation, and then you can just add yourself. You can type in your own email right over here and then add yourself to the automation and test it as if you were an actual subscriber. Now, granted, there's a delay of 2 days in here, so that's going to take a minimum of 2 days to actually finish the automation. But if you want to experience it exactly how your subscribers are going to experience it, then that is the way to do that. So there is a hot tip for you guys. We're going to go ahead and pause this one again because, again, demo account and then hit the X. But that about does it for our automation demo walkthrough. I will go ahead and pass it back over to Harmony to wrap us up. But thank you for your time.
Hmm. Okay, thank you, Alex. Answering some questions there. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen again and go back to the presentation, although we are done. We are done with this session. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. So you are going to be getting mail. We do send out the recording of this session as well as links to our knowledge base, links to video tutorials, links to the MailerLite community. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be sent after this session is over. We had someone ask about sending the links that were in the chat. Anything that was sent resource-wise, we will send in the newsletter after. All right, and that is basically it for this session. We hope that that was helpful. We won't be sharing anything else. We are about 45 minutes in, so yeah, we are done unless there are any other questions. Otherwise, it looks like we have answered all the questions that we had throughout the session. So thank you guys for joining. We try to host these sessions twice a week, or we host this session twice a month, I mean. So join us in the next ones, and we will see you in some of the next sessions. All right, I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen. All right, thank you, everyone. Bye.